Hello everyone, I'm Dave Marvel with Peace of Mind Home Inspections. We're here to go over one of the final segments of the 4-point inspection report. The 4-point inspection report is a report required by the insurance companies on homes that are 30 years or older. Some of the carriers require this inspection report to be performed on homes that are 10 years old or older, as well as if they've been abandoned, vacant for 2 years, or foreclosed upon. This segment is going to be about electrical. Electrical is very important in the home. It's one of the issues that can cause fires in your home or basically make the home totally unlivable if you do not have it. So when we go through and do a 4-point inspection and we're looking at the electrical system, we're looking for key things. Some of the key things are going to be the brand of the panel. Now, some panels such as Federal Pacific, Zinsco, Challenger have been flagged by insurance companies and carriers to be a non-insurable panel. That doesn't mean you're not going to get insurance. That means you're going to have a licensed electrician normally review these panels and write statements whether they are safe and working. That may or may not surpass or make it where the insurance companies accept those panels, but it will need to be done. Now, we're also looking at key points in this home as well that become issues. That's going to be, what's the main amp breaker of the home? Back when homes were first being built, we had fuse panels. Fuse panels were normally rated around 60 amps. Today's homes, fuse panels are no longer being used, and again, a lot of insurance companies will not insure the home if there's a fuse panel. It may have to be replaced. Once they got a fuse panels, they still dealt with fuse panels with like 100 amp main fuses to feed the home. Today's homes really require anywhere from 125 on up. We've added a lot of electronics and a lot of other products that we didn't have back in the day when we first started building homes and putting electricity into them. Wiring has changed as well. Back in the early 60s, you may have ran into aluminum wiring. Aluminum wiring has now been considered unsafe in most cases, being what the insurance companies call single strand or solid aluminum wiring. Most insurance companies will not accept that wire. They do call multi-strand aluminum wiring, which has multiple strands of wiring wrapped. Some insurance companies will accept that, but they will ask what that wiring is on, what it's servicing, such as the kitchen stove or the air conditioning system. Other wiring that is definitely no longer accepted is the old knob and tube type wiring. And that's a very unsafe wiring. It was ran through your attics and through your walls. It did become a major fire issue, electrocution issue, because you'd go up in the attic and not knowingly you would lay across the hot and the neutral and you could be electrocuted. So those are some of the key things. The other things that they're looking for is overfusing, blowing fuses, overheating, corrosion, or burn marks in the panel. They're looking for double taps or multiple taps on breakers in the panel. Now, the issue here is that most breakers are designed only for one wire and one wire only. And the insurance companies don't like seeing more than one wire on those breakers because of what they were designed for. And when you tighten your lugs down on these wires, if there's more than one wire under that lug, the torque on those wires or pressure on those wires may not be evenly distributed. So you can cause the breakers to have heating or the wires to start heating up and fire hazards. The other issues you look at are undersized wires on these breakers. So if we, for instance, have a 30 amp breaker, but we only have a 14 gauge wire on it, the wire is not rated for the breaker and the wire could melt or cause a fire prior to the breaker actually tripping for safety. We get into a lot of other things that the insurance companies are not directly specifying, but they use the word other in there, such as, if you run into GFCI breakers that aren't functioning properly, that's an electrocution hazard. It could be a fire hazard. Missing cover plates, an electrocution hazard, fire hazard. There are a number of things that fall within this other category that could cause insurability on the home. And with that, I want you to be aware of, because when you walk through a home and you're looking at it initially, you may see a lot of these. Exposed wiring is another big thing. Romex wiring, or NMB wiring, and it's called Romex, that's a manufacturer, but that's what most people know this wiring as. It's common household wiring. It's designed to be put behind the walls or up in the attic. So back when it came out, we had homes with attached garages that they didn't finish the ceilings or the walls in. It was perfectly fine, met code back in those days. However, today we're not necessarily in a 4-point inspection inspecting per code. We're inspecting for what the insurance companies will accept, and exposed wiring is a major issue that they will not accept. And you can see all these things a lot of times just by walking through and paying attention to your home that you're looking to purchase. And you'll know this up front and know it's going to show up in your inspection report as well as your 4-point inspection report. So you'll be aware to know what certain repairs have to be made already. Let's see what other things are required by the 4-point. Cloth wiring. Now there are two types of cloth wiring out there. There's cloth wiring that has an outer casing that is cloth, but the inner conductors, meaning the hot and neutral, are insulated in a thermal, plastic, or rubber insulation, making it safe. Most insurance companies will accept that wiring. Then there is cloth wiring where the actual outer casing is cloth and the conductors are wrapped in cloth. Most insurance companies will not accept this type of wire. It is very important, whether it is either one of these two cloth type wirings, to have a licensed electrician evaluate that wiring in order to say whether it is or is not safe. Because 9 times out of 10, the insurance companies will send their own inspectors out to verify all conditions on your home that pertain to the 4-point after the fact. And their inspectors may just say it's cloth wiring, causing you to be possibly canceled. But if you have that letter from the electrician, that may be your ace in the hole that saves you from having to have that home rewired to save your insurance. Are we missing bushings around branch wiring? That becomes a safety because the wiring can rub against metal, causing shorts. Empty sockets, loose wiring, improper grounding, corrosion, double taps, exposed wiring, unsafe wiring, improper breaker size, scorching. Scorching is basically when, let's say, a wire inside the panel arcs, or let's say you had a lightning strike that was nearby and caused some overheating within the panel to happen. And the big one, other. Other is going to encompass any unsafe electrical issues that are in that home. We have to look at the sub panel or second panels in that home. So if you have your main panel is normally the panel that has the main breaker in it. A sub panel is another panel that is being fed from your main panel. We have to look at that. We have to state the size of that as well. We have to state the size of the main breaker, the sub panel breakers, the age of the panel. So most of the time, panels and wiring in homes, they look at 50 years is a good life expectancy. That doesn't mean that you got to replace your wiring or your panels at 50 years. That's just a rule of thumb they're using. If it is safe and in working condition, most of the times you're going to be fine. Once again, I'm Dave Marvel from Peace of Mind Home Inspections. This is close to the final segment of our 4-point inspection report, there will be one more segment to follow. We're here to help you in all your real estate needs, residential or commercial. So please, whether we're working with you or not, you are welcome to call us, ask questions, and we will do our best to help you in all your real estate needs. Thank you. I'm Dave Marvel. Please call us at the following numbers. Have a good day.